Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Lex Imperialis, that's story DLC for Rogue Trader. Now Solomon has suggested we go and speak to him on the bridge, which we're going to do. I just don't know whereabouts he is. Alright, he's down at the front near our Space Marine. Around here probably. Ulfa. Solomon, there we are. Solomon stands with both his thumbs in his belt, looking around the bridge with assertive confidence. He gives you a casual nod as you approach.
Greetings, Rogue Trader. I would like to report that Glyto and I have finished our initial inspection of the upper decks. The list of infractions ended up being 5 pages shorter than I expected. I'm beginning to worry that a servant of the Lex might have little to occupy himself with aboard your ship.
I'm imagining it, or do you seem relaxed?
I doubt such a word could ever be accurately used to describe an arbitrator, but there is some truth to your observation. Since we're not in combat, I will permit myself to stand at ease, which is to say, I am standing by on full alert.
Make the hand signal for understood. Solomon responds with an equally curt gesture, signaling his assent. Shall we discuss the mission on Thessera?
Of course, which part?
What do you think we could have done to satisfy the prefect?
I do not know. It was one of those tough situations where only time will tell how well you handled them. If I were in your position, I would take the prefect's evaluation in stride and learn from your painful experience on Thessera. Sometimes life knocks the wind out of you in a way that can't be dodged, so it helps to learn how to take a hit.
The prefect can say what she likes. I'm convinced I made the right choice.
I'm not going to call the prefect's judgment into question, but...
Solomon peers at you.
You had to make a difficult decision, and you made it. You took responsibility. I appreciate such qualities in people.
Enough about that. We should discuss your return from Virbos.
Yes, I've been looking for a chance to have this conversation.
Solomon's nostrils flare, his eyes darting uneasily around the bridge.
I must tell you something about my past, so that we might consider the matter closed. If you agree to hear me out, that is.
Alright, what do you wish to tell me?
It's about what really pushed me into the pit of anger.
Solomon closes his eyes, and when he opens them again, he begins to speak with lifeless detachment.
Back in Calixis, before I was promoted to Proctor, I served in the same squad with another arbitrator, Emerson. He wasn't just a comrade. We entered the Schola Progenium together, and went through training together. We were assigned to the same hive world. He was like a brother to me. And I killed him. We ran into an ambush during a raid, all because Emerson sold us out to a crime syndicate. I was badly wounded in the fight, lying on the floor, barely alive. The rest of the squad had gone to scout the area, and Emerson stayed to guard me. He didn't notice that I was awake. He was talking over the Vox. He kept demanding bigger payment, and when he started giving our coordinates, I shot him in the back of the head.
Solomon places a hand on Glyto's neck.
I figured that we weren't making it out of there alive, so I logged my final report, attached my Vox to Glyto's collar, and told him to return to the headquarters. Then I passed out again, and when I came to, I had already been captured. The heretics tortured me for days, but I held on until the
I'm sure, is that supposed to be extraction squad?
The extraction squad arrived.
Oh no, it is exaction. What is an exaction squad?
A special unit. Exaction squads are dispatched to track down and apprehend dangerous criminals. They were investigating Emerson's betrayal, and it had led them to the heretics' hideout where I was being held prisoner.
Why did they capture you?
I was right by their contact's corpse. They had to know how I found them out and what else I knew about them. They tried to beat the answers out of me, tried long and hard, but I kept my mouth shut because I knew that the second I started talking they would dispose of me.
How did you survive?
I could throw pretty words at you about how I went through the Injuncta Cardinal in my mind or pray to the Emperor, but... I did pray, and I was well trained to tolerate pain, but every arbitrator has their limit. When I was almost broken, what held me through was hatred.
Solomon's entire body tenses, and Glyto immediately leans forward looking for the unseen threat, but his master's iron hand tugs at his collar.
I kept recalling that bastard's face and smothered any base thoughts I had about welcoming death again and again. Hours of agony, hours in the whirlpool of pure rage.
What happened next?
I was put under investigation, but was cleared of the charges and assigned to piety without Glyto, the most corrupt hive world in the Drusa's marches. 2 years among the vilest dregs of humanity. It was a test, and I passed. I got my promotion, got Glyto back, but after Emerson's betrayal, I was never the same.
You did the right thing by executing your former comrade.
I know.
There is no pride, no guilt in his voice, only aloofness bordering on total emotional vacuum. Have you recentered yourself?
Firmly. It was your words that pulled me out of that darkness, and you have my gratitude. I've been reflecting on the spirit of his law and what the Emperor himself wants for us. If anyone had told me before that I would be thinking about things like that, I probably would have caved their face in. But the truth is, I no longer see heresy in such thoughts. No, it's the opposite. I feel like they bring me closer to the Emperor.
How is Glyto? Do you two act as one again?
You need not concern yourself with Glyto. I recently finished checking all his protocols. His responses are instantaneous. I cannot pretend I haven't missed his companionship.
Did the Marshal contact you about your reinstatement?
He did send a message, and the phrasing was unusually heartfelt.
Solomon closes his eyes and quotes in an even, respectful tone.
Solomon Anthar, you are hereby restored to your rank of Proctor. Never allow even a shadow of dishonor to fall on your uniform again.
Yes, indeed. How utterly sentimental of the old man.
You can say that again. I'm still baffled myself.
Whether or not Solomon is in any state of bafflement at all, his face remains impenetrable. Okay, I've asked everything I want to know.
Good. It's about time we changed the subject.
About your Cybermastiff.
You hear that, Glyto? The rogue trader herself is asking about you.
Why did you call him Glyto?
His serial number is GL80.
Obviously pronounced Glato.
Damn it. Glato is easy to say in Gothic. Many give their Cybermastiffs striking names like Slayer or Thunder. I'm fine with Glato.
What can he do?
He mostly provides combat support. He is trained both lethal and in non-lethal ways of disabling a target, with the ability to analyze a situation and then decide on a course of action. Glato is a good tracker too and can spot basic evidence. He also knows over 100 commands. In general, he is more resourceful and diligent than most people I've met.
What about his augmetics?
Glato, ready.
The Cybermastiff promptly stands up and Solomon starts pointing out the different parts of the dog's body.
Frame is mostly metal with armored plates covering the vital segments. His jaw is reinforced. Crunching a leg off is like tearing a hair out for him.
He turns Glyto's head to give you a better view of the fangs, as if their terrifying size were not apparent to the naked eye. Solomon ruffles the dog's hair. He keeps going on about his hair. I don't see any hair on that dog, I must admit. Staring straight into its eyes.
I don't even know a tenth of all the things Glato is fitted with, but it's an impressive list to be sure. Take the sensors in his nose for one. A Cybermastiff is like an odor analysis laboratory.
He pats Glato in the back.
Alright, that's that, Glato. Attention.
What commands does he know?
They range from kill and guard and the like to more complex guard and patrol protocols. Protocol is a combination of behavioral patterns, which the Cybermastiff follows according to the present situation. In other words, I don't have to control Glato all the time. He can adjust and react to the circumstances on his own.
Glato down. The Cybermastiff yawns, casually bearing a terrifying arsenal of razor-like teeth.
That is a useless command, Rogue Trader. A Cybermastiff must always be in an advantageous position to attack the enemy. Glato can crawl or move stealthily if the situation calls for it, but regardless, he will not respond to someone else's order.
Alright. Is part of him still a living dog?
Generally, Cybermastiffs have all aspects of their animal nature removed, but Glato is a special case. His sub-model takes a dog's loyalty and instincts as a hunter and guard and renders them absolute. He is neither a dog nor a servitor. He is something much more. A Cybermastiff, a living weapon in the service of the law.
You cannot shake the feeling that your question has offended Solomon somehow. There is a certain vehemence in the way he describes Glato's outstanding qualities. You talk about him as if he was a tool. Do you not feel attached to him at all?
Glato is not a pet. He is an instrument of justice, as am I.
Proctor, evidence suggests that you are not quite so indifferent to Glato as you want people to believe.
Impossible. You found me out.
Solomon raises an eyebrow.
Yes, I am 1/100% less indifferent than I let on.
Okay. Must feel strange to be without your unit.
I've never been part of a rogue trader's escort before. That said,
He glances around the bridge.
I adapt to change more quickly than you might think. As long as Glato is with me, I can handle any transition.
Hello, Glato. The Cybermastiff pricks up its ears, examining you with an intelligent look that seems anything but bestial. Pet the dog. You are a fine and loyal companion, aren't you, Glato?
I must remind you that Glato is a living weapon. If you like the number of fingers you have, do not touch the dog.
Can't you ask him to sit still for a moment? Solomon gives you a long stare.
No.
I, Rogue Trader Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius, order you to order Glato to sit still.
You demand that I violate not the protocol of cybermastiff handling, but the principles of the Adeptus Arbites themselves. Those principles state that Glato is a weapon, and arbitrators never use their weapons for the amusement of noble persons.
Would it kill you to do me this small favor?
If I had a throne for every time I turned down a plea, I would have enough to buy your flagship.
He rubs the bridge of his nose.
For your own preservation, drop this idea of yours.
I'm still going to pet him.
I'm sure the rogue trader can afford the best implants.
Imperium law succeeded. You carefully bring an open hand closer to the cybermastiff's face and wait for a reaction. Glato's dark eyes are watching you, a crimson spark smouldering within. At last, you touch the back of his neck and start stroking his rough fur, your fingers brushing against the cold edges of the dog's ormetics.
Have you decided to make an exception for the Emperor's anointed Glato?
Glato puts his ears down under his master's gaze.
Fine. Congratulations on your achievement, rogue trader. Glato has never allowed anyone to do that before.
Give him a dried piece of meat. Here you go, Glato. Glato looks at the treat with indifference.
Glato is not a house pet, rogue trader. Trying to feed him will get you nowhere. He only eats out of my hands and only at specific times. Strict trading. It protects the cybermastiff against deliberate poisoning and other ill intents. Basically, don't waste your time or your meat.
Alright, serve with duty and honor, Glato. The cybermastiff growls quietly. It seems he does not take kindly to anyone making eye contact with him for more than a second. Alright. I guess I'll know more about you, I guess. Where are you from?
Port Wanda in Calixis, the gateway to the Expanse, a monumental station always covered in ships and bursting at the seams from all the dealers, pilgrims, mercenaries and criminals. Compared to Port Wanda, Footfall is just a lifeless rock in the void.
Where were you living prior to coming aboard my ship?
On Darkonus, Lady Theodora gave the top level of one of the spires over to the Arbites. A noble house used to occupy it before it decided to stick its hand into the dynasty's coffers. By offering us such prominent lodgings, your predecessor both reinforced her ties to the Arbites and made an unambiguous gesture towards the nobility. She was a shrewd woman and unforgiving.
How did you find Darkonus?
I must admit I was pleasantly surprised. I'd expected something far less civilized, given that the Cronus Expanse is on the outskirts of the Imperium. Instead, Darkonus may even compare to some Calixian worlds in status and stability.
How did you become an arbitrator?
How?
Solomon echoes the word with a grim smile.
The short answer is the Schola Progenium, but I doubt you'd be satisfied with that. My father was an arbitrator, a good one, or else they wouldn't have found him in an alley filled with bullet holes. Someone who served with my father told me he was shot with 10 different weapons, and that he took at least 4 of the bastards down with him. I was sent to the Schola Progenium right after that, and the mentors there forged me into an arbitrator. I was an eager student, thanks to the example of unyielding duty and dignity my father set for me. The only thing I didn't need to borrow from him was hate. He didn't instill that, it was always with me.
Solomon's gaze is completely emotionless.
I never doubted that criminal vermin deserve only execution, but it was my father's death that truly crystallized my hatred, made it complete.
Were you able to avenge your father?
No, I didn't want to. There was a time when I wasn't sure what to think of my father's death. Or rather, I tried not to think at all. I didn't look into the case or for any other reason to go back to Port Wanda. Arbitrators are never assigned to their homeworlds anyway. But when I was leaving Calixis, our ship spent several days docked at the station, and so I permitted myself to go to the spot where my father was killed. I stood there for a while, and nothing. I knew that another arbitrator would already have seen the investigation through. I had nothing left to do there.
What about your mother?
From what my father told me, she was a principled woman of poor health. She died in childbirth. Not having known her might be the sole regret of my life.
Hatred does not come from nowhere. It must have been your father's influence.
It's possible. He didn't speak much. Sometimes we went days without saying a word to each other. The only time he was talkative was when he was going through his cases at night. He would inform me in terse and simple words who had sold out and why, what depravities the heretics from the lower hive levels had committed, what base motives the workers had had for hanging their foremen. All I did was listen, watch, and think. That was enough.
Seems you were born to become an arbitrator.
Born? I don't believe in predetermination. But I know that every man's destiny is to serve the Imperium. In my case, the Imperium deemed me worthy of an Arbites rank, a heavy shotgun, and Glato. Not sure what else there is to wish for.
What brought you to the Cronus Expanse?
You should ask the Marshal. I got my assignment, and that is all I know. I assume it's due to my experience, collecting tithes from worlds bordering on savagery, where people haven't seen a living arbitrator in 3 generations is a task best left to a veteran.
Let's talk about something else. Got other business to attend to.
You know where to find me, Rogue Trader.
Now, I haven't got any current tasks DLC related, so I'm a little unsure what to do, apart from maybe try travelling to a different system and see if anything occurs, perhaps? Let's have a quick look in the journal. This is all main story stuff. Companion stuff, but I did all that in the main game. We could talk to Vigdis and see what the latest news is. She might give us some leads. Lord Captain, the ship informed me of our imminent meeting. The Voxmaster's duties. Can you tell me anything useful? Yes. Have the Vox spirits brought you anything interesting lately? Perhaps you would be interested in a Vox transmission I have intercepted not long ago, Lord Captain. The thoroughly encrypted message contained the coordinates of a landing site on a certain planet marked as rare cargo. I have not been able to uncover anything else, but I believe the encryption was intended for those who are involved in unsanctioned trade activities. A multitude of scout ships tirelessly explore the expanse in search of new resource deposits, but unfortunately not all of them represent the interests of the von Valancius dynasty. I occasionally intercept Vox transmissions from ships prowling in your domain in search of easy loot. An asteroid the size of a small planet has been discovered in the Soto's tomb system, and the prospectors believe there may be a wealth of resources hidden under the crust. And the last item for today. A few pilgrims from Footfall, who were graciously welcome aboard, have been filling the crew's minds with tales of a world of the Ascended. They say that prayers on a world near the cold star Cinerus Maleficum have not ceased for several hundred years. They say that the God Emperor himself chose this planet and raised all its people to his halls. We have suppressed these rumors to ensure that the crew are not distracted from their vital tasks, but perhaps you might decide to visit this planet, given its unusual reputation. Okay, that's all for now. Alright, okay. So let's have a quick look at those new things. Probably under rumors, I guess. Actually, let's look under contracts. What have I got on the go here? So... Okay, so it would cost me provisions. I do have quite a lot. I'd gain Promethium. I mean, I may as well do it. I've got quite a lot of both. I would lose Xenotech and gain weapons, which isn't that great for me. Tools of Righteousness. Oh, lose 9 weapons, gain Mobile Extractium, so I'll do that. Is that a story quest? Yeah, I guess I'll gain some weapons back. And this one is pretty much fine. Alright, so what have we got down here? A rare find in the Cradle of Kepfree. Oversized asteroid in Soto's tomb. Frozen Prince. Okay. Are any of those anywhere near where I am? That's Soto's tomb. That's Cradle of Kepfree. And Frozen Prince is kind of... Okay, they're all around there. So I'm here. I can actually go direct to here. Which would then take me direct to... Well, not direct there, but I can... Yeah, it's not too far. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Ugh! Where am I? Oh, I thought I was in Mundus Valancius, but obviously I'm not. I'm sure the crew will be fine. Ah, here we go. Lord Captain, we have just received an urgent Vox transmission from Dargonus. Marshal Strax requests that you come to the Administratum Palace for a discussion of the utmost importance. Alas, that is the extent of what we know. The message ends there. Great. Let's crack on with DLC stuff. Because I was starting to wonder, is that it? But I'm glad there's more. Let's use some of our scrap to get that going. Back to Dargonus. I felt sure there had to be more, because it didn't really feel like it had, like, a big finale on it. Like a big boss battle or something. Let's go. That looks good.
Embrace true power.
Marshal Strux regards the prefect with an implacable expression.
Not the question. I will only speak about resolving the situation with the rogue trader directly. No intermediaries.
As she speaks, Prefect Volta's augmented hands constantly fidget with a tattered piece of paper that may have once been a report.
But for how much longer might we have to wait for the rogue trader? 10 turns? 30? Thrice that? Time is an invaluable commodity, and we currently have none, esteemed Marshal. Not to mention the decree RP/84-289 explicitly states...
She stops abruptly when she sees you. The Marshal raises his chin.
Rogue trader, the Imperial Adeptus Arbitrizing request your immediate cooperation. The sacred tide collected from the Coronis Expanse is in danger, and you are the only one who can negate this threat.
What danger are you referring to?
All of the Expanse is ablaze, Rogue Trader. The state of disorder jeopardizes a critical strategic location, the planet Lethos, a clandestine world provided by Theodora von Valancius for the purpose of storing the tide collected from the wells of the Coronis Expanse.
Struck's cheek twitches.
At present, the planet is overflowing with the sacred tribute amassed over the course of decades. After we lost contact with every single ship sent through the Moor in recent years, the decision was made to cease all attempts to transport the tide out of the Expanse until the warp's tumult has subsided. It was for just such periods of the Moor's impassibility that the storage world of Lethos was devised.
The raspy voice of the Prefect cuts across the Marshal's speech.
If I may provide certain details, as per the regulations prior to being sent to this temporary depot, all tide shipments were first brought to Dargonus. These deliveries were made using barges crewed by servitors, with the only people on board with the privilege of autonomous behavior being key officers and an arbitrator escort. In other words, the location of both the system and the planet was strictly classified. A special pact was made with the Navigator House. Even I was not entrusted with the coordinates.
The Marshal looks straight at you.
Given the scarcity of our resources, absolute secrecy is Lethos' main line of defense. However, we are detecting increased activity near the storage well's location. I do not want to do this, but I am quite plainly forced to ask for your help. Go to Lethos and organize the extraction of the Imperial tide to Darkonus for further safekeeping.
Who are these people? They don't look like Administratum clerks. The Prefect looks at them and snaps her fingers. The fighters immediately make the sign of the Aquila.
These are my bodyguards, members of the Fangs of the Expanse. They are here to demonstrate my willingness to offer the Adeptus Arbites whatever cooperation I can.
Who are the Fangs of the Expanse? Oops, I did the wrong one. So I actually asked, increased activity. Marshal, do you suspect someone is trying to find their way to the planet? The Marshal draws a sharp breath.
Impossible. That would mean that someone commanding vast resources and influence knows of its existence. We have no evidence that could support this conjecture. Considering the current state of the Coronis Expanse, with pirates and Xenos roaming wherever they please, it is far more likely that the storage world will be discovered by accident.
Awareness test. The hastiness of the Marshal's rejection of your theory is the best proof that he himself considers a deliberate search to be a plausible explanation. But it seems he's unwilling to admit it even to himself. Who are the Fangs of the Expanse?
Mercenaries.
The Marshal spits the words out in disgust. Voltaire sighs.
Gregorus, you know we need every fighter we can get these days. You have precious few people at your disposal, and every year fewer still remain. The Adeptus Administratum regulations do not prohibit the employment of hired force.
She meets the Marshal's fierce gaze with calm composure. Are you telling me that the tithe from the entire Coronis Expanse is being hoarded on Lethos? Just how much are we talking about exactly? The Marshal sighs in anguish.
Enough to instantly turn anyone who captured it into a force more intimidating than the Casbalicus Shadow Barons. A tempting prize, as you can see.
Why can't you do it yourselves?
That is an acceptable option, one with which we are prepared to proceed. The Adeptus Administratum has requisitioned mercenary troops of the highest caliber. Under extreme circumstances, the Lex Imperialis permits...
On to the question.
There is steely ringing in Strux's voice.
In the Coronis Expanse, there exists a strict separation of authority between the Adeptus Arbites and the Administratum, as certified by the von Valancius dynasty and formalized in the Lex Tarraconus. Transporting the TIE to and from Litus and maintaining its security is the duty of the Adeptus Arbites. Aside from the head of the dynasty, only we have the right to set foot on Litus or to know its coordinates. Such is the word of law.
The Marshal turns to look again at you.
There is another reason. Under the present circumstances, only you can provide the necessary level of security for the Imperium property stored on your world. The Arbites are too few, and our forces are stretched too thin, as we must see to the stability of diet deliveries from other worlds, and prevent any attempts to disrupt said stability. Thus, we are humbly asking you to help us.
I must remind you, to my embarrassment, that Dargonus was gutted by Xenos not long ago.
And I hope that you have since drawn some conclusions about the importance of guarding your key worlds.
The Marshal raises an eyebrow, then sighs.
Here, the Expanse burns all of it. We have no safer option.
What can you tell me about Lethus? I've never seen it on any star charts.
At my insistence, it was struck from all astrogational data. It was once a peripheral world with no value to tide collectors, which is why its disappearance did not raise many questions. No one cared about a planet that had nothing to give.
Theodora had a whole secret planet in her possession, and yet no one cared to inform me. The prefect clasps her hands.
Lady Theodora was fond of secrets, and good at keeping them. You inherited those secrets when you ascended her throne. But there are so many of them that apprising you of them all would be an impossible task, as is determining the scope of your knowledge.
This must be resolved without delay. I will go there at once. The Marshal nods.
I will have the coordinates and passwords transferred to you. They are for your eyes only. Once you have arrived at the location, you are to oversee the TIE's transportation to Dargonus. We will meet the barges here and then redirect them to secure vaults.
I must ask that you hurry, your ladyship, before all is lost.
The prefect bows. Alright, we have our next mission. Get the treasure that we definitely won't steal.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
Alright, we better go to galaxy map. Oh, maybe I might need to see it in my... Well, do I need to go and check my quarters? I think it's assumed that I've already done that looking at it, so let's go to the galaxy map. Oh, it's just over there. Does it have... It has like a little path already from Adamat 2, but I'm just going to make a path from here. So let's click on it. Let's make it relatively safe. Travel over.
Rogue Trader, please accept my report in person. It concerns criminal collusion among the senior officers. They will also be able to answer the charges.
Criminal collusion?
I would prefer not to divulge details over Vox. It could be overheard by those who will have to stand before you and answer for their actions.
Alright, see you without delay.
On my way.
What have they been doing?
Rogue Trader, I hold the 3 senior officers accountable for the misconduct I have uncovered as part of my investigation. I allege that the ship's crew is full of wanted criminals. Do you refute the charge, generous Danrock?
The High Factotum stares at the arbitrator with uncharacteristic coldness. What are you insinuating, esteemed Proctor?
Heretics on board the ship of the Emperor's Anointed are a threat to the whole Imperium. If anyone knew of this and failed to report it, punishment will follow. Isn't that right, Voxmaster?
Vigdis does not react in any way to the arbitrator's words.
I do my duty honorably and will obey the Lord Captain's will, whatever it may be.
Didn't I tell you that no audits were needed?
There were none. I made do by analyzing the data I'd obtained earlier. I have uncovered a scheme involving all 3 of them. It is coordinated by the Voxmaster, who buries incriminating facts about voidsmen on your ship in the depths of the archives. Janris Danrock and Ravor turn a blind eye to the sordid past of the new recruits and divvy up the workforce that has come into their possession.
This is a completely insane accusation. We're not bringing criminals into the crew intentionally. Of course we're not. I'll admit that we do not try to hunt down every biographical fact about each voidsman who sets foot on board, but only because that would be a hopeless endeavour. Danrock falters for a moment, but none of us had any intention of populating your ship with heretics. Are we really taking fugitive criminals into our crew? Sort of. Janris clears his throat, shuffling from foot to foot. Sometimes they slip through the net because we don't have information from local wardens. Sometimes we're forced to overlook an unsightly past for the sake of acquiring niche specialists. Even common smugglers, for instance, often turn out to be quite an asset on Ravor's crew. We do draw a line, however, at even a whisper of genuine heresy in a Voidfarer's past. Vigdis raises her gaze to you. I'm sure you realize, Lord Captain, that smuggling and false cultism are both heresies in the eyes of the law, for they transgress his word. But one is far more dangerous than the other, to put it bluntly. Solomon, why stage this scene, accusing senior officers in front of the entire bridge?
I was in a rush and applied the regulations I'm accustomed to using on other vessels to your flagship. It was my fault for misjudging the situation, Rogue Trader.
Alright, I've heard enough. The assembled officers look at you in anticipation of your result. Execute them all. No, what should we do? Allocate protectorate funds for training specialist crewmen. We have enough masters of their craft on board to train any generation. Or keep things as they are. Okay, let's just look at what this is. In the first round, the flagship's macro cannons make an additional +1 attack. Or... in the first round, the flagship's lance weapons deal +3 more damage. Yeah, you know what? Let's just train our own guys up. It will take time, a great deal of time, and it will require considerable financial Danrock stops short under your gaze. As you command, your ladyship, we will see it done. Fine. Right, we want to go back to the galaxy map. Do a bit of charting new routes. We could get that guy. I mean, you know, if there's a need to. I don't feel the need to do it right now. Let's jump him. Alright, let's look around. I'm guessing that's probably... this symbol, I'm not sure what it is, but it implies to me that's probably where we need to go. So let's pop to these ones first. Nada. Plasteel. I've got... it's my... apart from the Promethium, it's my most plentiful resource. I'll save my extractiums for now, I think. Feral world. Okay. Storage sector. Lord Captain, we are now in Lethus's orbit. The ship has successfully exchanged access codes with the Adeptus Arbites outpost, but their landing pad is unavailable. The shuttle pilot is already calculating the closest possible landing point away... The Voxcast is interrupted by a crackle that turns into a ragged ultrasonic hum. A moment later, the connection returns to normal. What was that just now? There appears to have been an intrusion into the data stream, one that was executed using the Dynasty's secret codes. I can only assume that we have encountered an additional security measure installed by Lady Theodora. Send the tech priest to determine the cause of the malfunction immediately. The investigation is underway, Lord Captain. The incident did not affect the security of our Voxcast. It seems more akin to reciprocal auger scanning. Why is the landing pad unavailable? The augers are detecting foreign objects in the way, possibly cargo containers. Alright, I'm ready to go. We'll keep these guys together. Seems good. Okay. Alright, let's have a look around, shall we? We got here? We've got some goods. The container is tightly sealed on all sides. Something is scratched on the lid. 5 tons of the finest something. Look like it could mean sludge. Who knows? A cache with goods stolen from the containers. You spot a pile of blackened jewellery in the dirt nearby. Hang on. Likely thrown out of the crate to make room for provisions and weapons. Shotgun. Seems kind of basic. Can I go this way?
I tread a path unexplored.
Okay, so I can't get over there. I'm gonna have to go through here, I think. Guessing these guys can let me through. Who is that? More shadows from the riven sky? They're sure dressed nice. Hey, is that an arbitrator? I think these guys might be stealing our stuff. Why would an arbitrator be here? They're all holed up in their outpost, and this bunch has crawled out of the dump. Waltz will deal with them. He can smell a fake. Move it. The captain should decide your fate. Alright. Can I go around?
Let's seize the opportunity.
Oh. Captain Waltz, do I take the oath now? I swear never to abandon a comrade in arms and...
You ever been under fire, son?
Uh-oh. No, Corporal?
Here's your oath, then. Go, stepchild of the Imperium. Become bones and the foundations of a new truth, whatever that said.
Okay. That's where we came from.
Embrace true power.
Gilded ceremonial blades are tied with rough ropes to the spikes surrounding the encampment. Slow march of death. Yeah, if I ever use my little Xenos assassin again, I suppose that could be good. Alright, Glyto, I've already looted it. I keep calling Glyto, it's Glato, it should be Glato, I know. Probably already had lots of comments in the comment section about that, but what can you do? Weapons, both old and new, from a variety of worlds, lie together in an incoherent pile as if jumbled by a child's hand. Every gap is filled with ammunition of different calibers. A man steps forward. The hideous burns on his head make it look like a ball of molten wax. The pupil of one of his eyes is clouded, but the other eye is sharp and alert. Let's actually make him like Deep South.
I heard a shuttle, and here you are. Not a tithe, not clerks, but guests from the riven sky. The chance we've long been waiting for. These guardsmen refer to you as captain. I do not know by whom or with what right that rank was given to you, but it means nothing to me. Every living tithe unit must be commanded by a sergeant. Where is yours? I need them to take us to the Arbites outpost. Our sergeant? We strung up our sergeant. The Arbites gave him to us. They serve the riven sky, and nothing comes from the sky but evil.
The guardsman's one eye studies your squad intently as if calculating something. Solomon turns to you and comments in a flat voice.
Murder of a superior officer, desertion of living tithe quarters, defamation of Adeptus Arbites members. More than enough for a verdict.
Abelard, explain to this man at once how he will address me. Abelard assumes a most stern expression and proclaims vociferously. Guardsman, before you stands rogue trader Dahlia's Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius, by the will of the Emperor, the ruler of millions of subjects, and the sovereign of many planets, Lethus included. From now on, you will show her ladyship proper deference and obey any order without question. The man scrutinizes you from top to bottom.
Yeah, I see. I see the crux of the matter. You are someone very important, someone whose arrival can turn the tide. This is even more than I expected.
Alright, so who are you?
Self-proclaimed Captain Waltz, a stepchild of the Imperium, as we all are here. A living tithe abandoned to his fate, and a Death World veteran who ended up among recruits by mistake.
Alright, quickly explain what on earth is going on here.
Our illusions were shattered. The Arbites brought us here and left us to rot. For years we waited for our chance to die heroically in the name of the Imperium until we realized the Imperium is gone. All there is the Riven Sky.
What is the Riven Sky?
Don't try to fool me, we both know the truth. The Riven Sky is the abyss that has devoured everything outside, the primordial darkness.
Is he talking about the Maw?
Sometimes the sky sends people with their invitations. Shadows wearing human skins. They don't know that they don't exist, but I see right through them. They come from the steel star with the scarlet overseeing eye, from your ruler's throne.
Okay, he's mad, isn't he? What makes you think there's no Imperium?
Look around you, everything you see was a tithe, a sacred payment to the Imperium, and what became of it? Why did it never travel to other worlds as we'd been promised? Why are we starving here instead of doing battle among the stars? Because there's nothing there, that's why.
You saw my shuttle arrive with your own eyes. Where do you think I came from?
The Riven Sky. You children of the Abyss like to toy with our minds. You keep bringing new garbage here and dumping it on our heads, all just to maintain the feeble facade of your lies. And you keep talking about a future that will never come. Enough!
If the Imperium does not exist, then who feeds you?
Yeah, we break the containers open. We got our own sustenance. At least the food we have here is real. Your minions, the Arbites, toss us some rations, but they ain't enough for the whole regiment. There's too many of us now.
Your choice was between starving to death and desecrating the tithe. This mitigating circumstance will be taken into account during your sentencing.
You're insane.
Well, that's what you emissaries of the Riven Sky always say, because you're afraid of one who knows the truth.
There is no truth in your doomed mind, Guardsman. By succumbing to doubt, you have embarked on the path of the wicked, and now you will not escape judgment. For so it is said that all who despair shall betray, and all betrayal shall draw his retribution. And you admit to murdering your commander so easily?
Commander? No, the enemy. He was hiding the truth from us and prevented us from taking action. His death opened the way to freedom and made us realize that there is nothing up there. We're on our own.
What do you need so many soldiers for?
Me? No. We need each other. Only together can we take on the Riven Sky and its emissaries. First, we take out the Arbites, and then we fly to the steel star in the sky. There, we will strike down the false rulers and begin our restoration of the true Imperium.
I need to get to the Arbites outpost.
Well, of course you do. Where else? I know the way. I dream of that little fortress at night, overwhelmed and aflame. The avenues of approach, the adjacent high grounds, the shelters, they're all burned into my mind because of how often I think about that place. The stepchildren and I will arrive there very soon. I will raise the bloodied head of the false lord on a spike and destroy the illusion that the Riven Sky has any power left in it. And then the other guard units will join me, and our march towards the stars will begin.
Solomon rubs the bridge of his nose wearily.
I have no further questions for anyone who is clearly out of their mind. The question I would like to ask if there was ever a way to prevent this ugly situation.
No matter your numbers, you'll never take the Arbites outpost. The madman's face breaks into a smile.
I'm sure that's what you think. You got one of them law dogs at your side, so you are their commander, emissary of the Riven Sky. With you as my hostage, the Arbites will open their gates to be without a fight. Take this one alive, stepchildren. We don't need the rest of them.
The absurdity of your
It probably was
struggle
always going to
amuses
end in
me.
combat. Tell you what, he's pretty chunky. At 800 hit points. Alright. Okay, Cassia. Okay, let's have a look at the battleground. Where would be good for her to kind of initiate? As for me, kind of like to get loads of damage on the main guy. Maybe somewhere like that. Abliard. Probably you get like a melee in there. Solomon. Honestly, I guess just mop up anyone who's still alive around this side. Should put our sniper. Genta. Where can I start the battle? Is someone in a... Is it because of where Solomon is? Who would that be? Is it Glyto? Ah, it was. Okay. Right, Cassia. Well, I guess we'll start this this stuff. Let's give that to Dahlia, wherever she is. Alright.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Attack each other.
Hold on! Out of my way!
I guess they could have gone better. I guess we're going to do Voidsman's Glare or whatever it's called. Kind of like to not hit allies. I guess she could move. Go to where? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe somewhere like kind of here?
I am a navigator. The fury of House Orcelio.
Abelard?
Did it hit Abelard? Hit him all the way down there. Alright, Alright, so who are we going to give the extra turn to?
I'll
Dahlia.
show you why navigators are feared.
Purpose guides me.
High momentum.
One step closer.
Don't worry about that yet. So I'll do this.
Ruin beckons. Accept my offering.
Bad. We can... Stay burning.
I will triumph.
Just hit him again.
I need no guidance.
Okay. He's gone. Solomon casts a grave look over the battlefield and turns sharply to you.
Change of tactics. We must cut off all of the arrival points for their reinforcements. See those cables and counterweights? They're what's keeping the containers suspended. We get rid of the counterweights and the containers will fall and block the passages. Someone will have to climb into this semblance of a tank and open fire on these targets, while the rest activate the shell loading system using the cogitators and hold off the enemies.
Choose who will man the tank. Okay. Pascal. Actually, no, he's going to use the cogitators. Abelard, you use the tank.
Oh, well, the last time I drove something like this was before I had my first grandchild. But it will come back to me once I get my hands on the levers.
Okay, so the nature of the battle has changed somewhat. I guess Abelard will just do it on his turn? Yeah, it seems like it. Dahlia's still got some turn anyway. All that movement as well. Can I? So these reinforcements came in. Can I kind of
Amidst
do
the
anything with them?
carnage, I find purpose. Purpose guides me. Rend the blood. What a satisfying demise.
I can also give a full turn to someone. Argenta.
Destiny. Reshaped.
Let's see if I can hit all three of these. So we'll do rapid fire.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for
Wildfire.
the weak.
Don't need controlled shot.
I'll do
Sure.
it. As the
Devastating
Emperor
attack.
commands, I act. I'll do
Concentrate
it.
fire.
Doubt
Yes.
is for the weak.
High momentum.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Right. Eat lead, dirtbags.
I'll do it. Faith without propagated.
Alright. So we still got a couple here. She can do a run and gun.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Actually looks pretty good.
Doubt is for the weak. That is not the Emperor's will. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
And the question is, do I just
I
Yeah.
am his will made manifest.
Yeah. A blocked view could be an issue. But you can see these guys, I guess.
As the Emperor commands. I'll do it. This is why I was chosen. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. I will not. As the Emperor commands. Faith without deeds is this is why I was chosen. Dedicated.
It was a miss, rare miss.
As the Emperor commands, I refuse. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it.
Still going.
You, my Emperor! As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Each strike is a prayer.
Still going. Is there anyone else you can actually hit? I think that might have to be the end of her go. I don't think she can see anyone else. Alright. Still Dahlia's turn, however.
Ruin beckons. This is beneath me. One step closer. Purpose guides me.
Do I use this? Who can immediately use their heroic action? I can't remember what the heroic actions are. I think he can...
I will triumph.
Excel in your duty, Glato.
So we could... Okay, what can we do?
One of
Yeah,
us
so
would
it
be
does more
enough.
damage over distance. Yep, works for me.
Let's test our skills, Glato.
I guess that'll do. Still Dahlia's turn. I guess that's probably it for Dahlia. And that was actually still Cassia's turn, so I guess that's it for Cassia now. What was that? Do I need to reload it now?
Let's make it quick. Let's get to it. Here we go.
Okay, maybe now. So, I guess it's these, yeah? I tell you what, let's destroy this one.
So found you.
I think we may have dodged that. No. Oh no, I killed Argenta. Whoops, sorry, that's my bad. Damn. Okay. Fine.
Hold on. Arbitrators are made of plus steel. Out my way. Low momentum.
Need to go and reload it, don't we? So. Is that still... Why is that still saying 3? Don't know.
Glato. We're undertaking this task. One of us would be enough.
No, he's dead. No, he's not quite dead.
Let's test our skills, Glato.
Yeah, that's probably it for him. So, did I not destroy this thing then? It felt like it did destroy. Let's go this then. Did I target the wrong thing? I thought I was targeting this. Oh, it wasn't destroyed. Oh. Okay, I see now that it's doing damage to it. It's destroying it. Right. Okay, no, I get it now.
Let's make it quick. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Try to
Hold
die
on.
in a race, at least.
Okay, so made a bit of a mistake in killing those guys. Now that I pause to think about it. Okay.
Purpose guides me.
Isn't this a job for the slums?
Far away.
So I'm thinking is do my thingy up there.
I need no guidance. I reject the very idea. I will triumph. Death shall reign.
Yeah, that worked pretty well. Going on burning, not currently.
Purpose guides me.
I guess maybe I'll get to a form of cover.
There is no mercy found in my heart. Accept my offering! Ruin beckons. Purpose guides me. What a satisfying demise. One step closer.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of reinforcements. I kind of wish I had the likes of Argenta
Here we
around,
go.
but that's on me.
Let's make it quick.
I thought what I was doing was just destroying the counterweight with that shot. But that's not what happens, so that's on me.
If I may, isn't this a job for the serfs? Me? Face the navigator's might.
Trying not to hit Solomon.
You don't frighten me.
Yeah, I guess that'll do it.
Out of my way.
The order is clear.
We should power up the tank. Did that work? I assume that worked. Gonna...
I'll take it as a promise.
do that. Glyto. Because I don't have line of sight to them.
Blato, we're undertaking this task. Threat Prioris!
Oh, I was hoping to be able to direct Glyto again, but I guess not.
The order is clear. Arbitrator judges. Target eliminated.
Let's make it quick. Let's get to it. Here we go.
Right, well if I can drop one over here without hitting Glyto, that'd be good. Is that hitting the counterweight is my only question. Kinda looks like it is, right? Right, took out the counterweight as well, so that's good.
Hold on.
Another foe painted black.
Let's make it quick. Let's get to it.
Dahlia, what do we got? Will that get all of that? It would.
I need no guidance.
I don't know what that means, untie the blade. Oh well.
Ruin beckons. A blood-soaked tribute.
That works.
Purpose guides me. I will triumph.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. If I may.
Okay, that's all. That all seems fine. Let's wonder if the tank can fire again. I might have to. How many points are there where you can do that? I guess maybe we need to get someone up there. That'll do though.
Out of my way!
How dare you!
Let's make it quick! Let's get to it!
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Me? You insist, Lord Captain. Now you're clad in scarlet.
Anyone left? It's that guy, I suppose.
Isn't this a job for the scout to die with grace, at least?
Keep powering up Dahlia as well.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
That'll do it. Oh, we can use this terminal again. Good, let's do that now. Leave them there, but Glyto... Can I get you over here?
One of us would be enough.
Tell you what, I need to get Glyto out of that zone though. Go and protect Dahlia.
Understood.
get to it. Hold on.
Okay, well, we're going to send this one over here.
Out of my way.
One step closer.
Oh, Glyto came with me. Okay,
Behold as I slay them in my devotion. Ruin beckons.
one, two, three, four.
If I may, me? Another foe painted black.
Nope, more come in.
Let's get to it.
Two.
Purpose guides me.
She has crazy dodge. I think she's got like almost 200% dodge. She's in the Matrix. Okay, got more coming out as well.
Out of my way.
I mean, Cassia's not really afraid of
I am
a
a
group of
navigator,
enemies,
not
as
a
we know.
servitor. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Oh my god, he just blew up a bunch of people. Okay, why don't we reward
I'm
you
not
for some of
accustomed.
that?
Witness the fury of House Orcelio.
And can I hit you both with this? Can.
Me? Try to die with grace, at least.
Out of my way.
Solomon, power up that tank. I'm going to move him in as well, because he can always get up to that one for his next turn, or Cassia can. Meanwhile...
It won't take long. I'll take it as a priority.
The guilty will fall.
we want like a wide arc.
Understood. One less. Let's test our skills, Galato.
Ah, damn.
Let's get to it.
Alright, well, we're going to fire off over here this time. One guy left.
I will triumph. Death shall reign.
Oh, did that take down the counterweight as well? Interesting. Okay, now what do we do to these guys? Head trauma. I'm sorry. I fundamentally misunderstood what was happening. Okay, well I guess we can start looting. I can't imagine they've got anything that interests us. What's that? Ah, well we want that. And that stays here anyway, so take all that. We got glites. Glites. Now, there was stuff over here, wasn't there? Let's reopen this. Ah. Liberum Veto. Oh, look at what shield Abelard's using. I can't remember what I got him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about this, alright, but... If anyone tries to, it means if anyone tries to run away from him, he can sort of prevent them from doing so. That seems alright. Now, where was this? How do I get to that demolition? Ah, maybe it's through this way, I guess. Is there any? I feel like I got all of the loot that was here. But that feels like a good place to leave it for now. So we'll come back next time. We'll keep pushing into. Towards the Arbites base, but thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, that's quite a fun fight actually. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on it. It was, it took me a hot minute to fully work out the mechanics of it with that tank, but it was a little bit of head trauma between friends. You know, I'm sure it's fine. But thanks for watching. As I said, send in your comments. Always pleased to read those. If you did enjoy this episode as well, if you could hit that like button, that'd be fantastic. And if you're watching this and not yet subscribed to the channel, if you could do that, that'd be fantastic. So thanks very much. And I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.